This past August, I hosted a live challenge and experienced a 5% conversion rate. Now, this is my 7th year in a row hosting live challenges, and we average anywhere between 5 to 7% on our challenges. Today, I want to share with you why I think they work so freaking well, some lessons that I've learned, and give you an insider tip on how to structure your live challenge videos for higher conversions.
This is the Authentic Brand Builders Podcast with Michelle Knight.
Welcome back, Authentic Brand Builder. Today we are talking all about live challenges, which I use to promote or launch some sort of product here at Brand Mary. I've been hosting challenges for 7 years. My first year, I actually did a challenge every single month to promote my one-to-one services. Now I typically do challenges to get my wonderful audience into one of my programs. Live challenges work so well for me. Like live challenges and me, we get along so much better than me and webinars, I gotta tell you. So I really wanted to create this video, this podcast episode, because I think a lot of people prioritize webinars. They prioritize a masterclass, a webinar, whatever you want to call it, as kind of their live component to their launch. But I think live challenges are really the sweet spot for a lot of people. I released a special video on Tuesday over on my YouTube channel that walks you step by step through this entire process. So definitely check that out after this episode because it's going to help you with the nitty-gritty, with planning it all out, choosing your topics, so on and so forth. But one of the reasons that I love a live challenge and why I think that they convert for me, for my style, a lot better than a webinar does, is because it gives me more time to really dive into a lot of the individual details. It also allows me to cover the why, the what, and the how in greater detail than a webinar. So for example, most of your webinars, you're aiming for anywhere between an hour to 90 minutes. That isn't a lot of time to cover the why, the what, and the how, and do your promotion and offer a Q&A. And I have found, because I am structuring my live videos anywhere between 20 to 30 minutes, we've had some that are like 50 minutes, but that's because everyone is asking amazing questions and I wanted to answer those questions. But these 30 minutes, that's giving me almost 2 full hours for a 4-day live event. And I find that the conversion rates are just so much higher because I'm able to dive into the topic more. I'm able to give even more energy and attention to answering their questions. And I'm able to showcase that A, I know what the heck I'm talking about, and B, I'm here to support them. And since most of my programs include a support element, whether that's one-on-one, which is full support, a group program, the academy membership, whatever that looks like, I want them to know what it is like to receive support from me. So it's a great way to show them what it would be like to be inside one of my programs. So I wanted to give you an insider look at why this works so well when I start promoting, and then also talk about ways to increase your conversions with your challenge. Number one, the very first day is all about the foundation. You have to get them invested in what you're ultimately doing. So the why is huge on this day. Why do they need what you're sharing? What are some of the foundational pieces that they might need? Maybe you need to educate them on something that might not be something that they're super familiar with. The recent challenge that I did, day one, was all about why we need to understand the customer journey in order to be successful with our marketing. So it was a lot about why, it was the individual steps, and it really set them up for so much success over the next 3 days. It also started setting up my offer, which was key. It's getting them so freaking excited and giving them that information, that little nugget that they need to get started. Then that can set me up for talking about my offer on day 2 or day 3, and I'm continuing to dive deeper. So this recent challenge that I did was all about your content plan, your content strategy. So understanding why we need to understand the customer journey and how our content fits in was like fantastic. There were so many ahas in that live Q&A, so many amazing questions, and a lot of people hadn't even heard it broken down in this way before. Then the second day, I started diving into the actual content plan. So this is when I started to give them the what. What are the specific things that they need? And that's really what I love to focus on day 2. What specifics do they need in order to get the result at the end of the challenge? Now for us, it was really mapping out where are they going to be showing up? What topics are they going to be sharing with their audience? So then on day 3, we dove into really figuring out their workflow and fine-tuning the topics themselves. So already by the 3rd day, they understand the customer buying journey, which is elevating their marketing experience and introducing the topic of SEO. This is important. Day 2, we started talking about what their audience is really looking for, what they need to be successful. Then day 3, we started diving even more into what does their workflow look like, what platforms will they be choosing, which led us to day 4, where I took a deeper dive into the individual platforms and gave some of my top tips. Now, for those of you that are familiar with the Authentic Brand Builders Academy, you know that we teach SEO specific marketing, meaning I teach optimizing your website for SEO. We teach blogging, we teach podcasting, video marketing, using YouTube specifically, Pinterest. And so by this point, they had decided, I want to be on Pinterest. I want to be on YouTube. I want to be using SEO. Now it was a great opportunity for me to A, wrap up the challenge, giving them some tips for each of those platforms, and B, getting them into the academy. And so when you're designing your challenge, you really want to choose a micro or specific topic and then make sure you're covering the why, the what, and diving into the how. Now, I mentioned on Tuesday's video that I'm not afraid to give the how, some of which I have inside of my program, because I am making this challenge very exclusive. This is not something that's just readily available on the internet. It's not something you can consume or watch or rewatch over and over again. This is a live challenge designed to have access for 7 days. You either get it or you don't get it. And so the people who get it, who watch the videos, who are involved, they're going to get amazing results. And of course, I want to continue supporting them inside of the academy. So giving them these wins always leads them to the purchase. Don't be afraid to over deliver. And I think that's something that a lot of people struggle with webinars. And something I personally struggle with is I tend to over deliver. And webinars don't give you the space to do that. They don't give you the time to do that. So if you have a similar teaching style to me, really like videos without slides, you want to go deeper into it, maybe you offer support with your programs and you want to showcase that, challenges are amazing. Again, on Tuesday's video, I shared the step-by-step breakdown. So if you want to learn how to host these challenges, exactly what you need, make sure you watch that video over on my YouTube channel. You can go to brandmary.com/YouTube. So let's talk about this recent challenge and let's talk about the very specific things that worked so well for me. Now, when you are doing some sort of live event, the average conversion rate is going to be anywhere between 1% to 3%, and it does depend on your price point. So experiencing a 5% conversion rate is amazing. And as I've said, we've done 5 to 7. We even had a 10% conversion rate back in 2021. A few of the things that I like to do to really enhance my challenge is to offer Q&A. Q&A / the support piece, in my mind, is so important because it really does give people a trial, if you will, to what it's like to work with you. And that's what this is really about. Because think about how many times you've made a purchase decision online and you weren't quite sure exactly what the support looked like or if you vibed with the person. And this takes away a lot of that mystery because they're getting the opportunity to see what it is like to work with me and to work with my team. Because Delana, operations manager, is in there answering questions, making posts, and supporting the clients as well. So we give them a taste of that inside of this challenge. So that's a great way to think about it. Think about it as like a trial. It's like a free trial to what it's like to ultimately work with you. So having Q&A time is really fundamental. Now, I like to do live videos because I love delivering live. It doesn't take a lot of prep work for me. It works with my style, and I like to answer the questions live. If you are choosing to do pre-recorded, then I recommend that you have some sort of Q&A bonus session for anyone to ask questions. Because again, I swear that this is why it works so well, why conversions are higher when you have this live element associated with it. Another thing that we've been doing that works really well and I highly, highly recommend is having a replay page. I host my challenges inside of a Facebook group or inside of a community so that I can host my videos and answer questions, and we have prompts throughout the week as well with kind of actionable steps we want them to take. I love doing it in a Facebook group because it's super simple to set up, but not everyone has Facebook and not everybody wants to be on Facebook or log into Kajabi or wherever you're hosting your community. So we always have a replay page. And that is something we started doing 2 years ago when we noticed more and more people were responding and saying, I don't have Facebook, or are these available somewhere else? So we try to make it really clear to anyone who's signed up that we are going to have this replay page. It's going to be an amazing resource for them. They're not going to get the support if they're relying on that. But at the end of the day, I just want them to get the information. And this round, we saw a lot of people take advantage of the replay page. Even if it wasn't live, people were still consuming the content and then moving into the paid offer, which was great by me. And then anyone who felt like they wanted that additional support were able to join the group. And that might be the reason that they ended up joining the academy, because they wanted to get a taste of that support element. We're always going to have a replay page because I want to make it accessible to as many people as possible, and this is a great way to do that. I will always have some sort of live component because that is where people are getting the feedback and being able to ask their very specific questions, because not every business is the same. And one of the things I did this round that I found incredibly helpful was having a deliverable that came with the challenge. Now, I've tried this in years past. I've done like a PDF where I gave them space to write down their ideas. I have done it in the past where I asked them additional questions to help prepare for the next day. None of it really helped. It didn't feel like we weren't moving the needle forward with that. The PDF took a long time to create. This round I did something different. I just made a really simple Google Doc, and inside of the Google Doc, I gave them an exercise for each day. So typically we would use this deliverable or this PDF to kind of support them in getting ready for the day. But this was on the other side. It was about taking what I taught and then putting it into action. Now, this is something that we normally did inside of the group where we would ask a prompt and we would say, all right, watch day 1 video. And after you watch it, come back in here and answer this specific question. We didn't have as many people actually commenting in the group. And I think that was because I delivered this Google Doc. This Google Doc gave me so much more space to give them columns where they could generate ideas. It gave me a grid where they could design their repurposing plan. And it took me no time at all to create this Google Doc and share it as a link with my audience. And we noticed that people who were watching the replay, not necessarily involved in the group, were still taking advantage of this document. So moving forward, because, live events, live challenges, show up rates have changed quite a bit. We've added that component of the replay page to see if anyone who is not going to be joining the group can still get the content. And moving forward, I'm definitely going to be using this Google Doc strategy, which gives them action steps for each of the days rather than making them post in the group. But again, people who are in the group are watching the live and they're asking their questions on the live. So I don't feel like I have to add those prompts anymore, which is something I've done in the past because I've got a better solution now. And I love it. Google Docs, my friends. If you are still creating like PDFs for your group programs, if you're still creating, even PDFs, I think as like a freebie, honestly, Google Docs are working so well and they make it so easy for you to update them. So you don't have to update the PDF, re-download it, reattach it. You can just update the Google Doc and the link is still valid. I love it for live challenges. That's something we did this time that I'm definitely going to be continuing moving forward. As with all of my challenges, my emphasis is really on value, like over deliver as much as possible. And that's what I do with the materials themselves, which makes it really easy for me to then share the offer because it feels like the next best step. If you're learning all this, if you're here for this specific topic, it tells me that you would be a great fit for this product or service. And that's one of the things that I recommend my clients do when they're thinking of their topic. Always reverse engineer from the product, from the service to the topic itself. When you do this, you're able to give insane value and then share the next step as the paid offer or the service effortlessly. But one of the things that a lot of people miss out on the challenge is they're not actively selling. So they'll deliver this amazing challenge, they'll map out their topics, they know how they're going to support their audience, but then they kind of drop the ball a little bit when it comes to actually selling. So one of the things that I always do is I talk about my offer on the live video starting with day 2 or day 3, kind of depends. And then I also send additional sales emails to challenge participants in the evening that talks about the offer as well. Another thing that we've tested quite a bit are bonuses, bonus bundles, price points. With a challenge, I love offering an exclusive bonus or discount. I think this works so well. It's similar to a webinar. If you've watched a webinar or you know how to host a webinar, you know that there's usually a price point difference to drive urgency and maybe a bonus to drive urgency. Now, one of the reasons I really like challenges is it doesn't feel as do this now or you're screwed, which is what a webinar typically feels like. It's like buy right now on this webinar or you miss out on everything. And the way that I've structured my challenges is that they get a special bonus bundle through the whole of the challenge. So let's say I'm doing a 4-day challenge. On day 2, on Tuesday, I would share the offer and I would talk about this bonus or this discount. And then I would continue to mention that until the challenge ended on Sunday, the bonuses end on Sunday, the live videos go away on Sunday. It's all concluding. And it's always worked really, really well because it gives people a little bit more time. And I like that as a consumer. I don't like that insane pressure to have to decide in that exact moment, but it still has that urgency factor that if they don't take advantage in the next couple days, if they don't ask their questions, they are going to miss out on that. So I love to do a bonus bundle of additional products that I have, a sale, a price point difference is really helpful, or I have great luck with doing bonus calls, one-to-one bonus calls. My audience loves them. I'm really good at bonus calls. And so I know that they can get insane value for 30 or 45 minutes. And I love adding those on to a special challenge bonus if they join during that time frame. So for me, it's more about honoring people with special bonuses if they take action during that period of time. And it just gives them more time to make a feel-good decision, which is what I want. I want people to feel good about joining my products or my services. And that's a reason that I love live challenges. So the selling component and making sure that you really are talking about your offer, talking about the benefits, mentioning case studies, having these special bonuses, that's a huge part of the success of a challenge. I also find that people really love exclusive, like feeling like you are getting something before someone else or you're getting a discount and no one else is incredibly powerful. And we honor that. If we have a bonus for the challenge or a special price point, we don't do the same thing for the full live launch. And most of the time we will do a challenge, kind of a behind the scenes pre-launch to that select group. Then we'll open up the doors to our entire audience. So again, it makes you feel like, well, I took time out of my schedule to watch these videos. Not only am I getting insane value that's helping me solve a problem that I have, but now I'm getting this amazing bonus or this amazing discount, all because I decided to take the time and dedicate to this specific challenge, this live event. And it always feels really, really good when people get to join. Another way that I love to increase conversion rates is personal outreach or check-in. So if I find that somebody is asking a lot of questions on a video, they're super involved inside of the community, they're watching all of the videos, they're talking about how great it is in the comments, I love to reach out to them and just check in, see how they're liking the challenge. And 9 times out of 10, they'll ask me a question about the actual offer. They'll say, oh yes, the challenge has been so amazing. I've loved the support. I'm considering joining the academy and I have these questions. So taking that first step is really helpful, and it feels a little less out of the blue because we've been having this relationship throughout the whole entire week where I've been supporting them, and they're more likely to then step outside their comfort zone and maybe ask those questions, which of course helps increase the conversion. So this could be a Facebook message, or what we really like to do is just, find the person who is really involved. They've opted into my email list. We have permission to email them. And so I'll go ahead and send them a personal message, which leads me to one of my tips. I always do it with my challenges, and that's to send videos. So I will typically look and see if there are people who I think are going to be a great fit for my program based on their involvement in the challenge. And then I will send them a personal video where I say their name. It takes me like a minute, 30 seconds to record each of these videos. We might send 15 to 20, depending on how involved. We don't send them to everyone. 15 to 20 minutes. And I'm just sending these individual videos where I say hello and their name. I mention I'm so thankful that they joined us for the challenge. I say something personal that I've learned about them or questions that they've asked. And then I invite them to ask me questions about the thing that I'm ultimately promoting. This is so powerful. I use it for pretty much everything that I offer, but it works so well with these challenges because you're building more of an intimate relationship over the course of 3 days or 4 days or 7 days if you go that long. And so it's a really great opportunity for you to take that step, to offer a little Q&A time in your inbox, to maybe draw attention to something that they were asking in a video and go a little bit deeper. And it always pays off. And again, one of the reasons I love live challenges is just because there is that support piece. There is that personalization. And that's something that we value here at Brand Mary. That's something that I provide in my programs. So again, I want to offer this trial of what it's like to have my support. And it helps so freaking much. So get yourself Loom, record a 1 minute and 30-second video, speak directly to the person, send it an email, and see what magic happens. So as I mentioned, I have been using live challenges for years in my business. And I think a lot of people talk about them in terms of launching like a group program or a course or a membership or something like that, like a launch itself. But using them to get your audience excited and invested in your one-to-one is also an amazing freaking strategy. And so I wanted to spend just a few minutes to talk about how you could use this to your benefit if you weren't launching a course or a group program. So my recommendation would be to try and do a challenge every quarter. Different topic, not the same one, but every single quarter, have this challenge. Again, reverse engineer from something that you talk about or dive deep into or you're known for with your one-on-one. Host this challenge, and the promotion really just is get on the phone with me or submit your application. Add in a sweet little bonus. And if you do this and you fine-tune your conversion rate, you're going to be able to mathematically predict what's ultimately going to be coming in revenue-wise. And what I mean by that is, let's say you have a 5% conversion rate and that is going to be your average. You're going to know how many people you need to get signed up for the challenge, which helps with your promotion. You probably only need 1 to 2 people to actually convert. So you don't need a large group of people. You're getting a high ROI because usually one-on-one is going to be, a more expensive price point. And then you're doing this every quarter. So you know that every quarter you're going to be bringing in 1, 2, maybe 3 new clients, and you'll be able to plan your full year. And again, this is exactly what I did to hit 6 figures in my business. I was doing challenges every single month for like 6 to 7 months. It was a lot. I don't recommend doing that, but every quarter can be so incredibly powerful. You're also going to get better at answering questions. You're going to get better at positioning your offer. You're going to get better at delivering live video. And overall, you're just going to become a better marketer. So again, this could be a strategy that you use for one-on-one, which I highly recommend if that's all that you're selling right now. Or if you have a course that's on Evergreen, use this as a little mini live launch. If you have a group program, you launch it twice a year, use this. Every launch, I really believe every live launch needs to have some sort of a live component. Yes, webinars are highly talked about online, but from my experience, they are not the best strategy for me. And so I wanted to offer up just a different perspective, a different option. I know challenges were so popular back in 2016, 2017. It's like everyone was doing them. But I am here to tell you that even though everyone's not doing them anymore, I am. And they work like a freaking charm. So use this as an opportunity to expand how you are promoting your products and your services. And again, it's very on brand for Brand Mary to have these over-delivered videos where we dive deep into a topic and I'm offering support, because that's exactly what you get inside of my programs. And I want to give people a taste of what that is like. In the online space today, where we're constantly bombarded with offers and courses and $47 products and all of these different things, it's nice to get a taste of what is to come, because it's hard to make that decision. And at the end of the day, your audience really just wants to know that you see them, you hear them, you understand what they're going through, and challenges are a phenomenal way to provide that. So I hope that this was a little motivation to get you excited about doing some sort of live event or a live challenge, because they just work so beautifully and I have so much fun when I freaking do them. And I think you will too. That's it for today's podcast episode. Again, if you want to go deeper into the logistics of a challenge, the step-by-step process, be sure to head to my YouTube channel, brandmary.com/YouTube, so you can watch that video that I released. And I will be back next week with another podcast episode and some behind the scenes here at Brand Mary. Talk to you soon. Bye.